Diogo, 7.2 rating for Diogo Jota for his hand in the 2-1 win over Wolves by SofaScore. Who scored? I've got him as a 7.5.
What?
And FOTMob, I've got him as a 7.8.
Really? Okay.
So, just to clarify, this is Diogo Jota who got the assist for our opener and won the penalty that ultimately was the one that won the game for us. I enjoyed Jota's performance. I would still like to see him on the end of more stuff. Now, there's a case that he would have been on the end of slightly more if he'd not been wrestled face first to the ground for the penalty. But on the back of his midweek performance, where he played deeper, he played more of the 10 for us to then be pushed back into the 9. He wanted to make stuff happen for us tonight. And I think that was telling and whether this has actually been instructed by Slot during the game, but there were a couple of moments when him and Diaz switched. Now, this isn't necessarily the build-up to Kanate's goal because we're up from a set piece, and I think he just
found himself.
That's where he is, and he just stays there. But there was a couple of times where he did just make a run to the left wing. In fact, am I right in saying, people might correct me, do we win a free kick in the build-up? We definitely win a free kick for one time when he goes over to that left-hand side and makes a run down it, and just, it's intelligent play. When we're trying to see the game out, I think he does a lot of the right things as well, trying to hold on to the ball and stuff.
Well, certainly in the last few minutes, obviously, he tried to corner flag it as well, which was excellent. But it's the manner in which he gets the assist for me. Yeah. We're playing quite slow, and then he's up against Larson, I think it is at the time, the striker, isn't it? And he just beats past him, and it's that willingness to use your wrong foot, and your wrong foot being really good as well helps. He's probably the most two-footed player we've got. Diogo, the ball is absolutely perfect. Obviously Konate finishes it and stuff, but generally speaking, it was a good all-round performance. My sort of reaction was, once again, it's quite a varied score in there for them, and I think, for me, I'd be looking at it going, it's got to be around about an 8 out of 10 performance from Jota there. He's led the line well, he's pressed again, he's harried in conjunction with Dom and stuff like that. But like you, I do want to see him get opportunities in the box. Now, how many shots has he had during the course of the game?
A big fat 0
Which
shots.
Says it all.
Yeah.
He is your centre forward ultimately, and you want him, and as the most lethal finisher in the squad, I think I don't think it's really up for argument. You want him on the end of things, and yet when Liverpool got the ball into the box, it was your Dom Szoboszlais, it was your McAllisters, it was Cody's and Diaz and Salah. I want him in there. You got to find that balance, haven't you, between doing a job for the team and getting up front.
Going back to the front line, we already talked about it with Diaz and talked about Salah as well. Salah's our forwards just don't get enough shots off on the day, and some of that is just, I thought there was a great balance to how Wolves were structured. They got numbers forward and they needed to,
but they overcommitted.
At no point did they leave themselves drastically short, apart from one moment where Salah's running through and he should play Curtis Jones through, and it's a 2-on-1, and that's a huge moment that we pass up because Salah just doesn't get the pass right on that one. That was one of the rare situations where they tipped it too far the other way. But you're right, Jota, if he's the centre forward, said this 2 weeks ago, he needs to score more goals. He then gets a couple in midweek, and you go, okay, cool. But also he's not playing centre forwards in that situation.
He'd be playing as a midfielder in a 4-3-3, wouldn't he? There,
just saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. As opposed to a second striker.
I'm just playing.
10-4-2-3-1.
I don't care.
We care so little that we've not referenced it once since Slot called it out on it. Right. I thought he was fine. I thought he was in with a run-in for the man of the match because of ultimately his measurable, tangible impact on Liverpool winning. And that is to say, he is involved in both goals. I don't think any of the front three really excelled, to their own high standards on the night. But Jota will be the one coming away going, but that's 3 points that I've helped to.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 100% a penalty. Gary Neville can shove that where the sun don't shine, of course.
Gary Neville.
It's just ridiculous.
See if you can find some cash to pay your people. Anyway. It's fine. I think let's open it up to the floor. Actually, people watching at home as well can maybe answer this one. Who was the best of our attacking four on the night? Szoboszlai, Salah, Jota and Diaz.
Jota by a mile.
Yeah.
Comfortably for me. We mentioned that we talked about Diaz. I think he had probably one of his weakest game. Not to say he had a bad game. His weakest game so far this season, where it was just an okay game. Salah, I thought, really stunk up the gaff for large portions of the first half, but we relied on his experience in the second half when we were defending, and I thought he did that job admirably. But Jota is the only one there from the four players who I think you can hang your hat on it and say a good attacking performance. Dom obviously misses that sitter, works really hard off the ball, but still finding his feet a little bit in terms of what this role means for him and how he can best showcase his skill set in it.
Yeah, it's not again. The whole performance was just fine, wasn't it? It was absolutely fine. It was one of those games where you just want to get. I said it pre-kickoff. If I could just fast forward this game, and then we're sat at the end, and we're looking at the league table where Liverpool are top, and they've got three more points in the bag, then I'll be made up. But this was not one of the ones that was going to set the pulses racing. I did think Wolves would give us a good game, and they actually did without really being much of anything themselves.
They didn't really create a lot, did they? It was our own fears that got the better of us in that last sort of 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely did. But yeah, in terms of the front lads, I think, look, again, Jota's got the measurable output. I think Diaz passed the eyeball test slightly better. Salah's the one who's ended up coming out with all of the high ratings from all three of the providers there. The highest rating, and even got, what did we say again? Man of the match from FOTMob gave Salah man of the match.
It's that old cliche, isn't it? Goals change ratings.
Yeah, and also I do think that we're playing to Salah. And he's right because he's our best player. Salah needs to be more decisive on the night. There's a couple of chances there where, not the ones where it's battered to him and he cuts that pass and hits it right-footed. I mean, a couple where he cuts in on his left foot. And I think Salah from 2 years ago buries it in the bottom corner. He seems to not quite have that finish in him at the moment. He did hit one a bit harder, which is good, but it wasn't really truly threatening to the goalkeeper. A couple of times, when he got to the byline, and then in years gone by, he's then managed to get a little toey across the keeper, scored a few of those goals, or cut it back, didn't quite.
It's the Curtis Jones one that was the worst, though.
That
was the worst.
Yeah, where that should be.
It shouldn't be in the defender's vicinity. Yeah. You're so far outside the penalty area. You've probably got 30 yards you can play the pass into, and then you can steam in for the pass back if you need to.
If you play,
Curtis can go around the keeper or score the goal, whatever.
That's the pass you play when you're at the byline or you're in the 18-yard box and you're cutting it square. Whereas we were running through on goal, you've got to play that diagonally ahead. Let Curtis run onto that, because the distance that you put on that and the angle takes it away from the defender who's in between you. Whereas Salah's played that ball like they're in the 18-yard box, and you're just trying to make sure it's right in front of Curtis to finish it. But he's got to stride on. He's got to cover that distance.
20-30 yards to run before he needs to take a shot.
Exactly. So yeah, it's one of them. Thankfully, none of this really matters. In the grand scheme of things. I do wonder whether this is one where if Darwin had been available for the bench, actually he might have been a good shout for the later stage of that game where Wolves were pressing forward and all of a sudden his pacing behind might have
stretched them a little bit more, and still worked so hard defensively, doesn't he, Darwin?
Definitely. But I think I agree with. I don't agree with Salah being the highest rated from any of these of the front players. I did think that Jota was good enough of the lot, but I think all of them will have better days, have had better days, and will have better days beyond this. Let us know in the comments, who do you think deserve to be the highest rated of the four attacking players, and who do you think deserve to be the lowest rated? Because again, by the stats, Diaz is the lowest and Salah's the highest. Do you think the disparity really was there within that? What rate would you give out of 10 for all of the players that we've mentioned in there as well?